Alright, hello, my name is silverkyle, and today I would like to talk about what is currently going on with the Spider-Man property between Sony and Disney / Marvel. And it's upsetting news. I was so frustrated when I heard about this at work today. I actually had a little rant over there. So, what's happening at the moment? Things might change because they are apparently still in talks, and hopefully they come to an agreement. But at the moment, Sony is withdrawing Spider-Man from the MCU. Which means Spider-Man will now be on his own again. So it'll be like the Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire trilogy, the Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man movies, where there was no tie-ins to any other superheroes. So we won't have, mentions of Iron Man. We won't have, in the last movie, Nick Fury and Maria Hill were in it. We're not going to have other Avengers showing up in these movies. And I really like that. That's one of my favorite parts of the MCU, is that it's a shared universe, and you might see a cameo of somebody, like Captain America was in Homecoming. I really like that stuff. It's very small, but it just makes me excited because it's an Easter egg that I really enjoy. And the biggest thing to me, though, is that now, not only are we not going to have like cameos or even side characters, because Nick Fury really was quite in the movie enough to say that he was a side character in Far From Home. We're not going to have Spider-Man in any of the big crossover events that we are going to have. Whether it be another Avengers movie or Secret Wars, guaranteed we're going to have another Avengers movie. There's no way that Avengers Endgame made $2.8 billion, making it the biggest grossing movie of all time without inflation. We're going to have a sequel to that. We are going to have an Avengers 5, an Avengers 6 probably too, and I don't know how many other Avengers in this current era of the MCU, but we're definitely going to have another Avengers movie. So, now Spider-Man can't be in that. He's going to be by himself, just like Venom is, I guess. I guess they will have a tie-in to those two properties, which would be, I would love for that to happen. But man, I really want to see Spider-Man continuing this. So, and this all happened because Disney, not Sony, Disney got too greedy. A lot of people are angry with Sony, and it's Sony. Sony currently owns Spider-Man right now, and for him to be in the MCU, they're giving 5% of the revenue for the movie Far From Home, and any other Spider-Man movie. So Homecoming 2 is 5% to Marvel. And so they only get like of $1 billion for Far From Home. They're only getting about $50 million. Obviously, that's not Marvel's biggest income generating movie. All their other properties are making a lot more, other than maybe the Incredible Hulk for the first one that they made with the Universal, because Universal also owns Hulk. Anyway, so yeah, Marvel, what they said is they wanted to go 50-50, but they'll also help produce. So the cost of making the movie would be halved between Sony and Marvel, Disney. And I like that idea, but Sony right now, and I think that's why a lot of people are getting upset with Sony, is because they're like, well, it's only fair. That seems fair to us. So, you're only giving Marvel 5% on the movie side of things, but then all the merchandise from Spider-Man goes to Disney and Marvel. That's an insane amount of money, and any revenue that goes to their theme parks. They're currently building a big attraction for Spider-Man in their theme park. They're also, I think there's something else that they might get money from. Those are the two big things, though: merchandise and the theme park. So pretty much anything that's unrelated to the movies, Marvel gets 100%, which is, merchandise alone is so much money. So much money. So, them only giving Marvel 5% for the movie is perfectly fine. This just basically makes fans happy to have Spider-Man in the MCU. And that's how I think Disney and Marvel should be looking at things. And that's how I hope that they think of this afterwards. Now, obviously, they probably weren't expecting 50-50. Like, Sony wasn't just going to be like, yeah, we'll go 50-50 with you. I think that they're probably looking at like for a middle ground between what they currently have at 5% and the 50%. But Sony was just so insulted with this that they're like, nah, never mind, we're good. And that makes me sad, because I think that there was even a chance that down the line we could have maybe even had Venom in the MCU. Venom in the MCU would be freaking amazing. And then there's Dark Avengers with Norman Osborn. There's so many different paths that they could have gone down the line with these properties that it's so frustrating. And I really hope that Marvel goes, okay, we just want 10% then. I don't know. Don't be greedy, Disney. You are a billion-dollar company. Right now, the highest grossing movies of this year are Avengers, Captain Marvel, Spider-Man Far From Home, Aladdin, Toy Story 4 probably, and then the other few movies that will probably make $1 billion is Lion King, Frozen 2, and Star Wars. All owned by Disney. The only movies that are making like $1 billion is all owned by Disney. You are doing fine in terms of money. Don't get too greedy when you have 100% of the merchandise and theme parks and 5% from the movies. Just make the fans happy by having more Spider-Man and everything that's related to Disney and Marvel. That's, to me, Disney's the ones that reached way too far, and I get where Sony's coming from. I'm just so upset with this. I want Spider-Man in the MCU, and I want Venom in the MCU. I want pretty much anything that's tied to Spider-Man in the MCU. Please fix this, Sony and Disney. More so on Disney side. Sony, I get where you're coming from. Spider-Man was just owned once again by Marvel. This would be so much easier, but it's not. So anyway, let me know in the comments below what you think of this. Are you potentially happy about this? Because now it won't be Spider-Man / he won't be like an Iron Man copy, because I know a lot of people were upset about that. I wasn't. I personally thought that kind of worked, because that he basically, Iron Man kind of replaced the Uncle Ben figure in Spider-Man's life. I don't know. Anyway, you've been Bearded In. Thanks for watching. Beardage.